There's no way we can escape. Our last chance died with the hangar. Part of me thinks it's Yui because her file, she kind of just like volunteered. Should I just make a break for it? No, I'd never make it, and the others would suffer for my mistake. What do I do? You don't look so good, Chelly. I've been better. It hasn't exactly been sunshine and rainbows today. You really aren't much for acting, are you, Chelly? Look, I already know about you and your plan to escape. My blood ran cold. Yeah, Yui's the most sus of them all. They're all pretty sus, but Yui's weird vibes. You know, take the plane, fly away from here. It wasn't hard to figure it out. I tried to say something in my defense, but my voice wouldn't come out. It was all I could do to stand wide-eyed. I know you and the others found the lab. Got your memories back? Well, at least the others did. And I know that every night you all work together to try to find a way out. I mean, of course I'd know. I'm the reason why you got this far. What do you mean? Just follow me. You'll save all of us this time. We walked to the locked room near the game's room. She took out her master key and span it around. You never really thought a bunny could take a key from me, right? Honestly, I don't know what to believe anymore. She opened the door. The others were inside, looking as surprised as I was. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't kill you right now, Kat. How about two? First, your inside man was never 4, it was me. I mean, come on, he wouldn't have been smart enough for something like this. Second, you only ever had a chance at escaping this island because of me. Newsflash, Allie, those tanks never just bug out. You're the one who let me out of my tank? The one and only. Allie was at a loss for words. It was no different. What do you want, Kat? Honestly, the same thing as you guys. I want off this crazy train. I want out. I want you guys to include me in your little escape plan. What? Do I have something on my face? As hard as it is to believe, the list of people who want to stay on this island is pretty short. Hell no, we can't trust you. I'm not sure how, but I remember. I tried to escape with you before. I trusted you. I even fell for you. Even 5 girls isn't enough? Unbelievable. And then you betrayed me and shot me. There's no way we could ever trust you. You're just going to stab us in the back. Is that true, Kat? I'm ashamed to say it is, but I didn't have a choice. You know how it is with Damien. It doesn't matter if you share the same blood. He'll take the people you love hostage and use them to force you to dance to his own tune. I'm sorry I betrayed you, Chelly. I really am. But if I had to do it all again, I'd do it again in a heartbeat, because there was someone I needed to save. I know I must look like the villain to you, but believe me, I have people I care about too. If you're so compassionate, how come you burned of our only way out of here? You're lucky I did, Chelly. If you'd actually flown as planned, you'd all be at the bottom of the ocean right now. What do you mean? It's a cruel trick of Damien's. He knew there was a chance that people in the show would recover their memories and try to escape, so he made us build the hangar and the plane. It's the one place anyone trying to escape would go. Exactly. I told you in the past, Allie, never fly that plane or take the boat out of sight of this island. If you did, you'd have blown up like fireworks. That Allie and I were in a plane, which was little more than a flying death trap, sent a chill down my spine. Look, the simple reality is you need me to escape. Without me, you won't even make it past the barrier. What barrier? Exactly. And though I hate it, I need you guys to help me and us escape. She reached her hand towards me for a handshake. Allies? Let's discuss this first. Kat leaned against the wall while the rest of us debated what to do. Can we really trust her? This might be another trap. It's not like it would be the first by her you fall into, Chelly. You're right. That said, it's not like we have much to lose at this point. Even if she'd done terrible things to us in the past, we still need her to escape. You alright, Allie? I'm fine. I'm just angry at myself. Hey, don't beat yourself up about it. We're still alive. That's what counts. She's right, you know. I'm not sure how I'm feeling right now either, but we're alive. That counts for something. You're right, Shelly. And as much as I hate to say it, I think we need Kat's help. Trustworthy or not. If we need to stay that way. If we want to stay that way. We have to trust her. Sure. I'll be keeping an eye on her though. We can't afford to blindly trust anyone who says they can help us. Alright, Kat, if you want to help, you're going to need to answer a few questions. Ask away. What the hell is this sick show for? And why have you been forcing us to repeat it over and over? As someone from the Resistance, it should be obvious to you. This is just one of hundreds of killing shows we air. Shows that keep people scared and people from organizing against the government. You want to paralyze people with fear? You broadcast exactly what will happen to you if you rise up. You're monsters, you know that. I don't disagree with you, but we're not in charge here. Some of us still have family to lose, Allie. Continue. Before we air each show, we test them internally on test audiences to see what kind of ratings they bring for the fortunate and what kind of despair they bring for the less fortunate. If they tested well enough, we'd air it, but it wasn't efficient. But we couldn't just film a show over and over again to see which version of it rated best. You can't bring people back from the dead. It was the same for the test audiences. You couldn't just make them watch multiple versions of a show as they'd remember previous versions that would influence their opinions. There was no way to test multiple versions of a show without losing the feeling that lives were really in danger. But the memory rewriter would have changed that. It did. We were able to reuse everybody, our volunteer actors, the test audiences. Since we could just make people forget what happened, we could film run after run of the show, where each was as if it were the first time to all of you. And that's exactly what we've been doing here for the last 2 years. It was a lot to hear. I had a feeling, but to know that people looked at us like we were nothing but lab rats, while I genuinely was afraid for my life, it's sickening. We were silent for a while. If you've been testing the show this long, when's the real thing? There is no real thing. It's only what version tests the best. That said, there's only so much time Damien is willing to spend on this show, and that time is almost up. This is the last run of the show. If you don't escape before the end, you're all as good as dead. I know Damien and I have said that we'd let you and your chosen partner go if you'd achieve good enough ratings, but it's all a lie, isn't it? Yeah. I'm sorry I've waited this long to try to help you guys. I've been too scared to risk it all, but I've nothing left to lose now. She extended her hand to me for a handshake. Allies? At least till we're out of here. I don't really have a choice this time either, huh? If you wanted to, you could report us right now. That's true, and my word would count for more than all of yours. But that wouldn't save the person I need to. Like it or not, we have to work together. Then it's a deal. Allie shook Kat's hand. Kat, are you sure you don't want to? I'm fine, Scarlet. It's not important anymore. We don't have any time to waste. If you say so. Anyway, the only time we can escape is the last day of the show, between midnight and just before the sun goes up. That's when the boat comes, to welcome the newly engaged couple, and that's the only way off this island alive. It also doubles as a supply ship. We use it to replenish between each run of the show. Are there no other planes on the island? A boat would be far slower. Unfortunately, it's not so easy. There's a protective shell around the island which performs two functions. First, it renders us invisible to the satellite. It's the reason why your people couldn't find us, Allie. Second, if anything bigger than a human being tries to get in or outside of the barrier, it'll get fried, unless it's emitting a compatible IFF signal. The only way off the island that will have that signal is the boat. I'm betting it'll be heavily guarded. Well, yes, but not from people on it. The ship itself will be run by a skeleton crew. It's the staff on the island who we'll have to watch out for. That still leaves the question of how we'll defeat them. Last time I checked, there's hundreds of them and not even 10 of us. Actually, it might not be so hard after all. I've got a plan that might just work. Oof. Though I have to admit, it's a little crazy. I like the sound of that. If it involves zombies again, I'm out. Yui explained her plan to us with a renewed confidence that could inspire anyone to believe. Luckily, we still have tomorrow, so we have just the right amount of time we need. This just might work, Yui. You're a mad genius. It's crazier than anything I'd imagined, and crazy enough to work. Let's get to work. Wait, were we even listening to the same plan? The others went their separate ways to help prepare for Violet's plan. The cat stayed. Our business wasn't finished just yet. What's up? What's your game? I want to trust you, Cat. I really do. But you're up to something, aren't you? Just like every other time I trusted you. I can't blame you for feeling that way. But I can't take back what I've done before. The only thing I can say to try to make you trust me is that we both have people we care about, Charlie. And that if you don't escape, then the person I care about will go down with you. I'm not asking for you to put your neck out for me. You'll never have to. I'm asking for you to help somebody that you've never met and you never will. Somebody innocent. It's strange. This woman has put me through hell, treated me like a lab rat, and more, and yet, somehow I think she's telling the truth. Honestly, it doesn't really matter if you do trust me. You'll see tomorrow that I'm going along with Violet's plan either way. I'll trust you, Cat. I'm sorry for yelling at you earlier. Don't be. I literally shot you. I think that earns you the right to be angry and more, no? Well, I've gotten to know you over the past year. Not for more than a couple weeks straight, but I got to know you. And I think you're rude and manipulative and have no problem lying to my face. Hey, can we skip to the part where you compliment me? You're also incredibly crass, you keep secrets from everybody, and... You finished? But I don't think you're a bad person. Every time the show ran, you always talked to me to make me feel like I wasn't alone. You made sure I never lost hope. I know that was never part of the job. You didn't have to do that. Yet you did it over and over. It must have been so tiring to do that over and over, full well knowing that we were doomed. I don't know why you're doing all this, but I believe that you do care about helping people. I'm flattered, Charlie. But you've got me wrong. What do you mean? Everything I've ever done for you, the others, it's been for my own selfish reasons. It just happens to line up nicely. Though I appreciate the compliment. Unlike before, I couldn't tell if she was telling the truth. We went our separate ways shortly after. I spent the rest of the night helping the others with preparing for the plan. I was exhausted when I went back to my room, but I couldn't fall asleep for several hours. It's as if something's on the tip of my tongue, but I just barely can't grasp it. Yet somehow, I know I'm closer than I've ever been. Kat was true to her word. Instead of having another date on the 6th day of the show, she planned a huge party for the staff instead. A thank you for all your hard work party. As soon as she told her staff that Violet would be cooking for the event, all of them dropped everything and helped prepare for it. While the staff prepared the party grounds during the day, that was weird. Each of us were hard at work, making sure other parts of it went well. Violet cooked mountains of food as if her life depended on it. In truth, it did. Yui was playing games with the staff outside. It didn't take long for her to become a fast favorite for them. I'm pretty sure half the staff were playing the games just so they could get her to notice them, and she knew it. I have to admit, I'm really impressed by Yui. Her plan was really coming together. Tara and Scarlet joined forces to make sure all the staff joined the festivities. Tara used Kat's producer room to find any stragglers who hadn't joined the festivities. As Tara found them one by one, Scarlet turned on the charm and made sure that they came with her to the party. Then, when it was time for Scarlet to switch to her other mission, Allie took over, though I'm told she employed more force than charm. Meanwhile, I ran around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to make sure every part of our plan was going smoothly. And for once, it did. A few hours later, we had every staff member on the island partying their lights out. Everybody's here? You bet. You should have seen the ones that tried to run. I made sure everyone who came stayed too. Perfect. Everybody's eaten? As they should have. It is fine food. Looks like it's all going according to plan. I'm just gonna go ahead and get to the fun part. Scarlet pulled out a remote from her pocket and pressed a button on it. A few seconds later, fireworks were shooting into the night sky above the party grounds. The cheers of the staff were like thunder. And with that, the plan is going as smoothly as can be. Great job, team. We owe you one, Yui. Right back at you, Allie. We cheered as firework after firework lit up the night sky. Whoa, are fireworks supposed to be this bright? Come to think of it, these fireworks are practically blinding. I have to say, I did a pretty good job with these fireworks. Though, there might be some side effects to watching them from so close. Let's worry about that later. The fireworks were the signal to those trying to escape that there was nothing left to do except wait. It's going to be a long night. I know what we said before, but it would be such a shame to spend tonight just worrying over what might happen tomorrow. We might live, we might die, same as any other day. How about this instead? We just dance the night away. You know what? That sounds great. That sounds lovely. Let's do it. Come on, let's dance like there's no tomorrow. Yuck. Same. Don't be like that, Terra. It'd be good for us to blow off some steam. Dancing sounds like exercise, and exercise... Allie picked up Terra over her shoulder. And away we go. Come on, come on. Scarlet grabbed my hand and pulled me with her to where people were dancing. The others followed close behind. They sure are carefree, huh? Some things never change. Maybe we'll get out of here tomorrow. Maybe we won't. I hope we do, though. I like to think that one day we'll look back and remember this day. It was the most fun night I've ever had, out of the nights that I can remember. We lived like there was no tomorrow. And now, we'll find out if there is a tomorrow for us. We waited in the darkness for hours, waiting for the boat to come. The plan was simple, yet had no room for error. First, we need to make sure the boat really is coming. It's later than usual. You think they're on to us? No, it'll just be a little longer. It's cold. There's no point in worrying at this point. If they're onto us now, we're already dead. All we can do is wait. We waited for an hour more, then another, then another. We were losing hope. I guess It's here! Kat pointed towards the ocean. We all looked in unison. Just as she said, the boat was coming. It looked huge despite how far it was. It must have been massive from up close. Alright, it's only gonna be a few minutes before it reaches the shore. Let's book it back to the mansion. Second, we need to get back to the mansion before the boat reaches the shore. From what Kat told us, the staff will physically inspect the mansion to make sure we're there. We can't rely on overriding the feeds. If we're not there, they'll sound the alarm, and our chance of escaping will go from slim to nil. According to Kat, it's how I got caught last time. We made it back to the mansion and rushed to our respective rooms. I turned off the light, then jumped on the bed and pretended to be asleep. A few moments later, I heard the sound of somebody opening the door. It must be them. There was a mechanical rhythm to it. Footsteps, a door would open, more footsteps, a short pause, footsteps again, the door would close, repeat. Over and over, closer and closer, till it got to my room. I tried my best to make my breathing sound natural. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, footsteps. A second later, my door opened. I can tell there's probably about 5 people. Breathe in. They're walking closer to me. Breathe out. I can tell 2 of them are in front of me. They're muttering somewhere under their breath. You have to pity her. Come on, she could do better. Rude. Breathe in. Hey, something's wrong. It feels like my heart stopped. Breathe out. They're moving closer to me step by step. What's that? Breathe in. I think it takes everything I have not to move. When every nerve in my body screams in turn. This is it. They're onto me. I can't help but ball up the fist of my hand. Never mind. We're done for the night. Let's head out. Sounds good to me. I heard them walk further away from me than outside the room. Finally, they closed the door. I breathed out like never before. On to the next part of the plan. We regrouped downstairs. That was so difficult. That wasn't so difficult, was it? Like taking candy from a baby. Wait, where's Tara? I'll go check on her. As if on cue, Tara came running down the stairs. I'm good, don't worry about it. And I definitely didn't fall asleep just now. I didn't buy it, but the rest of us didn't either. Alright, back to the problem at hand. We may have avoided detection for now. But now, there's going to be upwards of 100 guards on patrol between here and the boat. There's little to no chance we can make it through there without being seen. But it's a chance we'll have to take. Actually, we have just the take for that. Courtesy of Scarlet and I. What's that? Well, we went through all the trouble of preparing such a big party for all the staff. It would be a shame if we didn't give them a little extra to chew on, no? You didn't. Oh, she did. It was like an absurd scene from the art house movie Gone Mad. Brains. Bananas. Brains and bananas. Grr, grr, grr. Brains accounting should have grr. Hundreds of zombies littered the field. You know, I can't believe we ever let you make shit, Scarlet. You better be glad that you did. Now that I think about it, couldn't we just have just put a sleeping agent or something like that in? Where's the fun in that? Well, we still have to go past them to get the boat, right? Don't worry about it. I've got a fair share of experience in taking down zombies. Something about that rubs me the wrong way. Don't worry about it. Let's be on our way. We managed to sneak out of the mansion without much of a fuss. As soon as we got into the forest, it was smooth sailing. There were just a few zombies in there. To be honest, how much Scarlet enjoyed herself taking them down was more concerning. I'll worry about that when we've got off this island. For now, I'll focus on getting out of here. A few moments later, we made it to the beach. The boat was clear in sight. Wow, it's huge. Let's not waste any time. We rushed onto the ship and ran straight to the captain's deck. You guys wait here. It's practically guaranteed that the engine's been tampered with, and I need to fix it. If I know my father, he'll do it just the way it was last time. You know what, Chelly? Come with me just in case. Maybe that's where the crew members are. Lead the way. It was pitch black inside. Cat had to shine a light to see anything. Strange. Where are they? Well, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. Found it. Chalk it up to my dad, outsourcing everything to the grunts. This is child's play to me now. Cat's got to work fixing the engine. Watch my back. We still don't know if we're in the clear, and this is going to take a minute. Got it. I turned around and kept lookout. It was almost impossible to see anything, though. Since when were you a mechanic? Honestly, since my first failed escape. I had to teach myself. There isn't exactly a trade school on this island. If I hadn't, I'd never be able to help anybody escape this island. I'm sorry I didn't trust you before, Cat. I get it now. Why you did what you had to. Keep talking like that and you'll rate us a death flag for the both of us. Jeez. We could talk more later if you'd like. In the meantime, the boat is fixed. Nice. Let's tell the others and get the hell out of here. We ran back to the others and told them the good news. At the same time, Cat revved up the engine of the boat. We were good to go. We literally jumped for joy as the boat started to move. Gosh, I can't believe it. We're really doing this. We're finally getting out of here. It is hard to believe, but it is true. We did it. Now, you don't have to thank me all at once. We really did it. Thank you, Cat. You really saved us. You did. We wouldn't be able to get to this point if it weren't for you. There's no need to thank me. I actually should apologize that I didn't do any of this sooner. The intercom rang out. Cat turned white as a sheet as we heard a voice that was all too familiar. No. Damn it. Damien. Ding, ding, ding. I guess you learned at least a little something in school, Cat. Not enough, clearly, but hey, it's something. That's gotta win a precipitation, apparently. Participation wet ribbon somewhere. You knew what I was planning? Of course I did, dearie. I made you. I know exactly how you think. And I have to thank you. Your mother would be proud at the show you've given us these last 2 years. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forget to tell you? While you were busy filming Chelly and those other bitches, my team was filming your brave attempts to save these idiots. Give the audience a little bit more reason for why they should stay in the line, you know? After all, if I did do this to my own daughter, imagine what I'd do to someone who wasn't. You're a monster. Flattery will get you nowhere, Kit Kat. Well, it doesn't matter now. Do whatever the hell you want. We're getting out of here. We fixed the boat, and there's nothing you can do to stop us now. We're getting out of here. Saying garbage like that is just playing with fire, love. The earth started to shake. Even though we were on the boat, I could tell the island was rumbling. In the distance, a metal barrier slowly rose out of the ocean and all around the island. It climbed higher and higher till it cast a shadow over the boat. Higher and higher till the only daylight we could see was just from a circle above us. We were trapped. How about we play a game, little rats? Damien spoke down to us from some kind of holographic screen on the walls. He gestured to some kind of machine behind him in what looked like a strange kind of stadium. I've got myself a little switch here that controls the barrier. One push of this, and you'd be free to go. It'd be easy for you to waltz on in and flip it. You've gotten rid of all this our security. This switch is only going to work if you have 2 people's handprints with producer-level clearance. Sure, you've got Cat, but you'll never be able to get mine. He pulled out the same gun I'd been shot with before. So, don't let that stop you from trying. The hologram disappeared with a click, leaving us in uneasy silence. Our hands are tied. We've got no choice but to go back. Hello? He's got a gun. Just take us all down before we even had a chance. He'd take us all down before we even had a chance to grab him. We've still got no choice, though. If we wait here, it's only a matter of time before they can send people after us. I guess we have to head back to the beach. Let's turn this around. We've got an ass to kick. No, that's exactly what Damien wants you to do. The turning around part or the ass kicking. I'll leave that to your imagination. Damien has a script that he wants to see play out. People try to revolt, fail, and get killed. I guarantee you, if we do just that, he has a plan for it. He'll find some kind of way to turn us against each other, and then none of us will be making it out of here alive. Even so, we can't just stay here and wait until we're out of time. Chelly and I will go flip the switch. Besides, we're the only 2 people here who can do anything about it. What do you mean by that? I thought that only you and Damien. I'll explain on the way. There's no time. Chelly, are you ready to run? I won't allow it. There's no way we're letting Chelly go back there without us. You said it, sister. I'm not letting you all lose your one chance of getting out of here. Scarlet, please. You know exactly what Damien is capable. I don't like this, Cat. I know. Let them go. Believe me, I hate this. I hate this to my core. But Cat's right. Cat didn't waste a moment. She reached for my hand. Before I knew what I was doing, we ran off the boat together and back to the mansion as fast as we could. I was running on pure instinct, like my body had done this before countless times. I looked back to the boat just once, but I couldn't help but linger for a moment. I could tell from their faces that they wanted to be running with me, not waiting for us to come back. I'm going to make Damien pay for making them suffer like this. We went back to running. I followed Cat's lead. It's earlier than I planned, but there's no time like the present for exposition about your past. It would be good to know why I'm running with you. Would I happen to be resistant to bullets? We'll find out if you are together. Though, if you look at your history, I'd say no. Hey, I survived the last time you shot me. I'm pretty resistant. Touché. Before you came out of the show, you were a producer, just like me. We used to work together. We were partners. In more ways than one, though. That was forever ago. Living and working on this island was the only life I've ever known. It sounds awful, but I didn't have a problem with running these shows. There was nothing different to compare it with. But then I met you. I've got no idea what would bring someone like you to this island, but meeting you changed me. She smiled like I'd never seen before. You made me see that there was a world out there that was beautiful. You made me hope that I could be a part of that world one day. And you helped me realize that we needed to shut this place down if we wanted there to be a world out there at all. For years, we worked together to free as many people as we could from these death trap shows. We'd ship them away to safety, fake their deaths, everything. We did just that for a time. Then Damien started to suspect something was up. Each day he got closer and closer to figuring out until I knew we couldn't stay any longer. But it was too late by then. Damien caught us. You mean you betrayed me? I can't remember much, but I remember you and we were together. And then you sold me out, right when we were trying to escape. Why? It's like I said before, I didn't have a choice, and I still don't. I know you have no reason to trust me, and I don't expect you would. But we need each other's help to get off this island now. Since both of us are technically still producers, we can activate the switch if we work together. We don't even have to take Damien down, though I doubt he'd let us use it that easy. Can you trust me enough for that? Honestly, I don't know. A part of me wants to trust Kat, the same part that unconsciously remembers that I did for years and years. But how can I forget that betrayal, even if she has her reason? Sure. I'll keep an eye on her. When we get back to the mansion, Kat made a beeline for the lab. I ran with her as fast as I could. Our footsteps on the winding metal staircase echoed like a thundering drum. You're about to see the real reason why the show is on this island. Kat took out her master key and slid it into a hidden socket in the wall behind one of the tanks. Click. Don't say I didn't warn you. The same wall sped into 2 doors, slowly revealing another hidden staircase. You think you guys could get an elevator instead? I said the same thing. As soon as I took 1 step down the staircase, I could tell something was different. Something was telling me that I shouldn't go down there. Come on, we don't have time to waste. I've got nothing to lose. With each step down, it grew darker and darker. Eventually, I couldn't even see my hand in front of my face. Then, light. Blinding light, and applause? Welcome, welcome, you finally made it. Damien's face was plastered over countless screens in a stadium that could fill tens of thousands of people. Countless cameras littered the seats, all focused on center stage, a battleground sprawling with maze-like walls of all shapes and sizes and littered with guns. Thanks to the walls, we couldn't see Damien directly, but I knew he was here from the screens. We wouldn't have a show with you idiots. So I'm glad you actually came back. Ah, you couldn't even bring back the others? You're no fun. You just gotta make me work, huh? Anyway, congrats on making it this far, etc., etc. I gotta say, I'm proud of you for making it here, daughter of mine. I'm impressed that you remembered your old haunt from just a few seconds of video. No thanks to you, you dirtbag. Is that any way to thank someone who gives you a room and board? You gave Telly a way nicer room than I ever got. Blame your mom for that one, kid. Anyway, how about you be a dear and explain the game we've got going on here? The switch we're looking for is somewhere here. The problem is, so is Damien, and he's got a gun and more ammo than he needs to kill both of us. What about the weapons on the ground? Maybe there's something we can use to level the playing field? It's all we can do, but the odds aren't in our favor. Most of the weapons lying around are useless. They were meant to make people lose hope that they could fight back. Most is better than all of them, at least. Well, yes and no. There's no hope to lose if they knew all of them were fake. That's Damien's MO. We'll give the people trapped on his shows just enough hope for escape, and he'll use that to trap you. Roll guns among the fakes, boats and planes when you're trapped on an island. If we're going to make it through this, you can't fall for his game. Understand? Loud and clear. Then let's go. No time to waste. We ran from wall to wall, taking cover between each time. Whenever we had the chance, we'd pick up what looked like a gun and see if it was real. We only had seconds to check for each one. Damien was hot on our trail. A gunshot rang out, blowing a hole through the wall Kat and I were hiding behind. "What's the matter? You're like two rats in a lab." He fired again. Shrapnel from the wall scraped my arm. Fuck! It was like my arm had been lit on fire. "Chelly, you okay?" "I'll live, don't worry. We need to find a weapon. And we need to find the switch." He ran behind another wall, narrowly dodging another shot from Damien. It dawned on me that he wasn't even trying to hit us. He was just trying to make us scared. And it was working. But why? He's reloading. Come on. We dashed out from behind the wall and ran past Damien, looking desperately for the switch and for any weapons we could find. I managed to pick up 2 pistols, and Kat did the same. And damn, looks like they're fake too. How's yours looking? I took a look at the first one. Upon further inspection, it was clear it was no more than a plastic toy. But the second one, Kat realized it was the same second I did. It was real, but with a single bullet loaded. Alright, that's good. Let's... Another 2 shots rang out, blowing a hole in the wall, just next to where my head was a few seconds ago. Fuck, how come it gets that fucking hand cannon? The budget's gotta go somewhere, I guess. Anyway, we've got the gun. That's probably the only real one in the stadium. We need to find the switch now. Even with a gun, we're no match for him. Sounds good to me. We ran further through the stadium, opposite of the entrance, until we were square in the middle of the stadium. And there it was. The switch. You'd think they'd have hidden it better. Damien's laughter echoed through the arena as he reappeared on the screen above the arena. Congrats, you found the switch. It's a damn shame I forgot to mention something about this switch here. It won't do jack shit, even if you both have access, as long as I've got a heartbeat. And I plan on sticking around. But I'm not heartless. In fact, I think I'm a pretty decent guy for what I'm about to do. Kat looked like she had just seen a ghost. Kat, Chelly, I've got an offer you can't refuse, but only one of you can claim it. If either of you kills the other one, I'll let the one left standing go. We'll forget this ever happened and call it a wrap on Find Love or Die Trying. I'll even let the survivor leave the island. I can even guarantee I'm telling the truth, because this is airing live to the world right now. People bow down and get in line because I tell them the truth, because they know I keep my word. They wouldn't believe me for a second if I ever went back on it, you know? Not a bad deal, huh? Considering that if no one takes that offer, I'll just kill both of you. I'm giving you 5 minutes to decide, and then I'm coming for you. The screen shut off. Kat and I looked at each other, a mix of horror and fear on her face, and there was no doubt that mine mirrored hers. Chelly, I can't imagine what's racing through your head now. You probably think I'm going to betray you again, right? I was at a loss for words. You don't have to say anything. Look, I can't blame you for doubting me. And honestly, if you just shot me right now, I'd be okay with it. Because then you'd be free to go. I know Damien will keep his word. But if there's even the slightest chance that you want me to be able to escape from here too, then I need to ask you something that I know sounds insane. What's that? I need you to give me the gun. The only real one we've got. Look, I am not stupid enough to know how... I'm not stupid enough to not know how that sounds. The simple reality is, I've known you for so long now, and the one thing I know about you is that you're a terrible shot. Me, I'm as good as you get on this island. I think I'm our best bet to taking him down. But I understand completely if you're not willing to trust me if you think I'm lying. I get it. And if you don't trust me... She closed her eyes and pressed her finger against her forehead. Then please, just make it quick. The gun in my hands had never felt so heavy. On one hand, the guarantee that I make it out of here alive. On the other, trusting Kat. Can I trust Kat after all that she's done to me? Can I really believe her words when the memories that can prove or deny them are lost to me? I've got no time. I have to choose. I'm not gonna kill her. I trust you, Kat. I held the gun out to her. You do? After everything I've done? After everything you've done? Yes, I still trust you. I know you've been forced to do some awful things to people that didn't deserve it. But I know there's good in you, and I believe in that good. Take it. Thank you, Chelly. She took the gun from my hands. Don't shoot me. I won't let you down. Well, if you do, it's not like I'd be around for long enough to regret it. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Let's do this. We decided to seek Damien out and try to get the drop on him, rather than waiting for him at the switch. My heart was practically beating out of my chest. I couldn't tell if Kat was nervous as I was. If she was, she hit it with the same poker face she always had. We dashed to another wall for cover, looked around, and repeated. How much time has passed? Feels like we've been looking for him for hours with the pressure, though I know it can't be more than a few minutes. As the minutes passed by, I could tell Kat was growing more and more impatient. She trained her gun wherever she looked, her trigger finger ready to shoot our only bullet at any time. Left, right. I glanced around, then looked to her and back again. Her hands were shaking. Look left, look right. We've only got one shot to make or break it. Look back to Kat. She's checking a corner ahead for us. She looks left, she looks right. Takes everything I have to stay focused. Don't think about dying, not even the possibility. She turns to look back at me. Oh no. Damien's walking closer and closer from behind her with his gun resting on his shoulder. He can't be more than 10 meters away. He slowly lifts the gun off from its resting position. Before I know it, I'm running towards her with everything I have. Something is making me run. Something I've forgotten. Something I'm just starting to remember. It's the two of us at the beach. I can see it now. How many hours has it been? We made it to the ship, but it wasn't enough. The alarms were deafening. Security was going to be here any minute. And our only saving grace, our ship, wouldn't start. That's it then. I'd never heard Kat sound so desperate. Well, at least we tried, right? Who else could say that? She lowered her head and leaned on me. No, we're not giving up just yet. There's nothing we can do, Chelly. The engine's broken and the guards will be here any minute. We've got at least some weapons. It's not over yet. I grabbed the precious few firearms we had and split them between us. There's two of us and hundreds of them. There's no point. Not to mention, you're a terrible shot. You're right. Taking them head on would be suicide. But that's not what you'll be doing. Me, I'm just some nobody. But you're the big man's daughter after all. Your word means a lot to them. She was horrified. I would be too if I were in her shoes right now. No, I won't let you do this, Chelly. We don't have a choice. Look around. Look, I'm not happy either, but us both dying here would be worthless. But if you live, you get a second chance to make it out of here. A second chance to see the other side. I know, but what's the point if it's not with you? You'll have to find that out yourself. They're almost here. Come on, we're running out of time. Her hands were shaking. It looked like she was going to drop her gun at any second. I hate you for this, you know. I know, and I'm sorry. She slowly raised her arms and trained the gun's sights directly at me. And now, we wait. Can you do me a favor? What's that? Don't shoot me in the face, please. I'm rather proud of it. I don't know what I'd do without my supernaturally good looks. She laughed through the tears. I would have still loved you even without them. Right back at you, Kat. She kissed me for the last time. I love you, Chelly. I love you too. Sorry, but it's gonna be the face. Let me just take off the safety. Wait, I didn't sign up for this. I heard my favorite sound one last time. I could hear the guards coming now. We've only a few seconds left. On the right side, I won't owe you $10. Our bet? She laughed. I think it's pretty clear who won the bet. I could see the guards now. My time is up. What makes you say you did it? I'm alive? Everything hurts so bad, I almost wish I wasn't. The shock must have knocked me out so cold. I coughed up blood as my vision flashed in and out rapidly, too fast to tell if I'd been fatally shot. It was all I could do to try to stay conscious. It's as you said, Father, anyone who breaks our law must be punished. I could just barely make out her voice, but it brought comfort to me. You really do take after me. You've made your own man very, very proud. Oh, will you look at that? Looks like our little hero's got some life left. You know, Chelly, you're in luck. See, the whole escaping thing. I'm afraid I'm going to have to fire you. No severance. I tried to make a witty comment back, but the only thing that came out of my mouth was coughed up blood. But you're in luck. A new opportunity's just opened up, and I think... He kicked me in the stomach, then rolled me over with his foot. You'd be the perfect fit. He laughed as he crushed my palm under his foot. You might think I'm going soft on you by not killing you outright. He'll look down at me, then back at her. But mark my words, you'll both wish I had. Do whatever you want. I don't care about Chelly anymore. He laughed maniacally. I never did like Chelly much anyways. My vision's fading. His words turned to vapor as I could feel myself crumple to nothing. The last thing I saw was her face. She was holding the river back with everything she had. Who are you going to fool with a poker face like that? Cat. I love you. Always have. Always will. I'm so sorry for what I forced you to do. Even more so, I'm so sorry that you'll be all alone now. But I hope one day you'll understand. Flash back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. I've almost reached Cat. I pushed myself to run faster and faster. Faster than I've ever ran in my life. Cat doesn't see him, but she sees the alarm glowing off in my eyes. Damien points his gun at his daughter. He's preparing to take the shot. Cat starts to turn around, but there's no time. Damien's finger pulls back on the trigger. What am I doing? I see the world turn into slow motion. Why am I throwing away my life for Cat? These memories, they're mine, yet not at the same time. Who can say that I'm the same person as before, who loved her so much? Who can say if these memories form a completely different me compared to what I am now? There's no time for answers. Even if I've forgotten you over and over, somehow I remember you and I know that I would do anything for you. I run past Cat and throw myself in front of her because I love her. A gunshot rings out. It's like my body is struck by lightning and set aflame. He fires again and again. Undescribable pain ripples across my body as shot after shot rips through me. It's not like the movies where someone can stand after being shot over and over again. The firing stops and my vision starts to fade. I can barely hear him reloading over the sound of my body screaming in agony. My knees buckle, I start to fall. As I fall, I can see Cat with her gun trained on Damien. There's no fear in her eyes. Her hands aren't shaking, but she's biting her lip so hard that I can see it bleeding. The last thing I see before the dark takes me is her finger pressing down on the trigger. Wake up, Chelly. Please, please don't die. Am I alive? I've never heard her sound so desperate. Please, just wake up. I can't lose you again. Not again. It took everything I had just to open my eyes and breathe. Cat was cradling me in her arms with tears streaming down her face. Thank God. Don't pass out again. You almost gave me a heart attack. Sorry, Cat. I coughed up blood. Save your strength. Did you get him? We did. That's great. The switch? We should be able to get it now, but you're in no shape to walk. And to be honest, I'm not in the best shape either. I looked up at her and felt my heart drop. You've been shot. She laughed. Yeah, now that I know what it feels like, I'm even more sorry for shooting you back then on the beach. There's nothing else you could have done, Cat. That didn't stop me from regretting it every second of these past 2 years. That day I made a promise to myself. It didn't matter how many people I'd have to hurt or how much I would have to hurt. I would get you off this island alive and well, even if it was the last thing I did. Even if I had to see you fall in love with somebody else 100 times. Even if I knew it meant I could never be with you again. I made a promise back then, and I'll keep it, even if it kills me. Slowly, Cat tried to lift me off the ground and onto her back. She screamed and coughed up blood as she tried to lift me up. Stop! You're going to get yourself killed. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. She lifted me onto her back and took one step towards the switch. I told myself back then, she stepped forward again, her legs were trembling, that if you weren't leaving this island alive, neither would I. Another step closer. Because I love you, you know? One more step. I know you don't remember most of our time together. Her breath was getting ragged. She'd take several steps, then have to pause for breath. Honestly, I'm glad you even remember bits and pieces. I'm grateful for whatever I can. The switch is in sight. And maybe the you I fell in love with doesn't even exist anymore. We're so close to it, yet so far. But I'd like to believe it's still you, Chelly. That you're still the same Chelly that I fell in love with. We were just steps away from the switch. And that I'm still the one you love. She laughed bitterly. It's just wishful thinking, I know. We're here. We made it. You just... She coughed up blood again. Need to put your hand on the scanner. Can you do that? Got it. I used the last of my strength to reach my hand forward. With every inch I drew closer to it, my vision grew darker. I pushed harder and harder with everything I had. Got it. My turn. Done. All that's left is to pull the switch. Sorry, Chelly. I'm going to have to put you down for a second. No problem. Cat gently rested me on the ground. Fuck, I can barely stand now. She tumbled towards the switch. She managed to catch it with her hands and used it to keep herself upright. Here we go. The moment we'd been waiting for. She pulled it with the last of her strength. A second later, she fell to the ground by my side. The cacophony of machinery filled the stadium. That must be a barrier opening. We did it, Chelly. I'm sorry, Chelly. What for? I don't think we're getting out of here after all. I can't even move. It's okay. We had a good run, you know? I guess you could say that. At least the girls will be able to get out of here. They deserve better than to die here. Yeah. I love you, Chelly. Always have and always will. For these last 2 years, I dreamed of us starting a new life together, somewhere far from here. But I guess life's not like the movies. Dreams don't come true. I wish we could have met in a different place in a different time. Maybe, just maybe then, Chelly, we... Cat? Cat! Her eyes were closed. Streams of tears ran from both her eyes. My vision blurred even more as tears welled up in my eyes. If we could have met in a different place, a different time, I'm sure our story would have been so different. I wish we could have, Cat. I tried to move closer to her, but my body refused. It was all I could do to move my head around. I looked around in futility for some kind of miracle that could save us both. This is too sad an ending. I looked to Cat. I looked to the heavens, which had all but abandoned us. I looked behind us, and I saw what could only be described as angels. I tried to speak, but no words would come out. I must have been dreaming. I must be. The world turned to black. Am I dead? If I keep asking myself that, it's bound to be right sooner or later. But somehow, I think there's more to come in my story. And I know there's one person that I want to spend the rest of it with. I love you. I feel like I have to pick Cat at this point. That's who I'm supposed to be with, according to this whole thing. I woke up in an unfamiliar room. Is the room shaking? I tried to get up. How? Fuck! I looked down at my body. It had been bandaged enough to look like a mummy. But I'm alive. Chelly, you're up! Hey, Yui. Where are we? We're on the boat. We're miles away from the island by now. That's a relief. Everyone's okay? I'll let you be the judge of that. Yui ran off and came back a few moments later. You had us worried, Chelly. I'm so glad to see you're alright. You didn't make it easy to save you either. Oh, and if you find yourself craving brains or bananas, that's entirely unrelated to how I treated you. I'm just thankful it worked. It's so good to see you're safe and sound, Chelly. If you died after all we've been through, I'd kill you. But I'm really happy that you're here for me to say that too. You did great, Chelly. The Resistance could use somebody like you. Besides, it doesn't look like you have a real job anymore, huh? Thanks, guys. You really stuck out your neck to save Cat and I could never thank you enough. It's what you would do for us, Chelly. Indeed, we ran after you just moments after you'd left. There was no point in escaping if it wasn't with you, Chelly. Yeah, I know Cat said not to, but hey. I didn't remember that at the time, so it's all good. We managed to save the Brothers 5, too. I couldn't just let them be stranded after, well, all that we've been through together. I'm glad to hear that. There's no way we could have escaped without them. I nervously looked around the room. Is Cat? Cat's doing well, too. She's resting in the room next door. She didn't think you wanted to see her. I see. Thanks for letting me know, Yui. I should be thanking you. None of us would have made it off the island if it wasn't for you and Cat. It's true, despite whatever you may hear Terra say. I'm just saying, I have a pretty mean right hook. It's so good to see you all. I've got no idea what the world ahead has for each of us, but whatever it has in store, we'll face it together. You bet. I'm surprised you can say that with a straight face, but yes. I wouldn't have it any other way. I couldn't really use you as a PR person for the Resistance, Chelly. Or I could. You've got the right thing for speeches. No. Wait a minute. If everyone's here and Cat's next door, who's driving the boat? Everyone looked at Terra. And that's a series exit for Terabyte. She ran off. Terabyte? Her last name was Byte the whole time? She ran off like a cartoon character. We laughed together. It felt like it's been so long since we could just laugh. No cameras, no fear. Just friends fooling around. Anyway, it's so good to see you're okay. That said, team, we need to give Chelly some time to rest. Once again, I'm not trying to quarantine you because we didn't use the zombie virus's unique properties to save you. Thanks, Scarlet. And thank you everybody for coming to see me. Don't mention it. We're all in this together. No. And all that, right? See you later, Chelly. Alright. Enough with the cheese. Get out before Chelly turns. I mean, before Chelly needs rest. Yes. And with that, I was alone. Phew. I thought they'd never leave. Hey, Scarlet, what's up? Nothing, She was hiding a syringe behind her back. Need to give you a shot for, good luck. Right. I put my arm out forward. Well, the doctor knows best. I'm not a doctor. She injected the good luck into my arm. I just wanted to say thanks again. My life went back off the rails back at the islands, even before the show. That's putting it lightly. She laughed. I know if I stayed there, I never would have been truly happy for the rest of my life. I never would have been able to help people ever again. So, thank you again, Chelly. You've been out, so there's no way you'd know, but today's the day that would have been the last day of the show, the final ceremony, where you'd ask one of the girls to be with you. Now, I'm not saying anyone's rushing for a proposal, but I think everyone wants to hear an answer from you. And that kind of decision takes some time to think over, so I'd figured you need a little space. Thanks, Scarlet, you're right. It's my pleasure. She kissed me on the cheek. Well, I'll see you later. See you, Scarlet. And then I was alone in the room. It's a tough choice, but it's what I know I have to make. They're all such incredible people. I'd be lucky to be with any of them. Anyone would. I sat in silence for a time, both resting and contemplating what to do. Is it the life of excitement with Allie, a life of rediscovery with Scarlet, a life of enjoying the simplest things with Yui, a life challenging our limits with Violet, a life of freedom with Tara, and then I just knew. I got up from the bed. I walked to the door of my room and looked for the room next to mine. There. How do you have to look for a room next to yours? I looked through the window and I just knew. I opened the door. Hey. Hey, Chelly. You look like hell. You don't look very much better. I'm surprised your face is intact. It's survived a lot now, hasn't it? Yeah. You know the girls are hoping you'll ask one of them out today. They'll get the wrong idea if they see you here. I came here for you, Kat, and only you. You've been there for me from even before I can remember meeting you. There's no way I could have ever gotten off this island or anyone else could have if it wasn't for you. And I know that there was so much we have to figure out and so much we don't know in this world. But I know I want to face that world with you, Kat. Tears were streaming down her face. I didn't want to hope for it. I walked next to her and got down on one knee. I tried so hard to convince myself that it would never happen because it was too painful to even hope. I don't have a ring or anything, but I'm sure I can get one later. You don't need a ring. Will you marry me? Yes, yes, yes. I love you, Kat. I love you too, Chelly. More than you could ever know. Wherever life takes you is where I'll go. We held each other close and kissed for the first time in years. Memories flooded back with each passing moment. The day we met, our first kiss, fights in the rain, making up, the joy of just being with the person you love. The day I proposed to her the first time. And now, today, I'm sure there's many more to come. Here's to making memories together, Kat. I love you. Aw, that was cute. They pulled a Twilight at the end of showing all the memories. I like when things do that. I felt like I had to pick Kat because if I didn't, that'd be kind of fucked up. It's like, yeah, I know we were loved before, but I like this other girl better. Yeah, that was good. I liked it.